Hey guys, Mr. Dalek JD here, and welcome to my very first proper storyline video for you guys on Mob of the Dead. This is going to be the very first one, talking about the entire story, because a lot of you guys are still pretty complicated into how it all works. I'm going to try and break it down for you, as well as show you a few different things that people haven't really spoken about. So if you're logged into a YouTube account, then by all means be sure to smack that like button to keep up the support on these zombie videos. You guys are being so supportive recently, and I really appreciate it. It's such a really good feeling to go on the videos and see such great support in the likes and comments. So leave a comment down below. There'll be an annotation on the screen as well of a question. But anyway, let's get straight into this. Now, this storyline is not linked to anything outside of the map. Now, there are a few tie-ins and little throwback Easter eggs that link to a few things in the storyline, but this map is separate from the usual zombie storyline that we are following through right now. As the premise of this map, Michael Finn O'Leary, Salvatore De Luca, Billy Handsome and Albert Arlington are inmates at Alcatraz Island. Now, the date is December 31st, 1933. Albert Arlington, aka the Weasel, had created a plan involving these 4 steps. Step 1 being find the warden's key. Step 2 being get the plane parts. Step 3 being build the plane on the roof. And lastly, get the hell off the island. Weasel was able to convince the other 3 that they could actually fly off the island. They got to the roof, but it hadn't worked. In result, Sal DeLuca, Finn O'Leary and Billy Handsome brutally murdered Weasel out of the hate for being deceived on the roof, and was sentenced to death by electric chair on January 19th, 1934. Now, in this story, all the characters are dead at this point. So we all start out on Mob of the Dead in Afterlife mode, and this is key to the entire storyline. With the Easter egg, towards the end we get an audio tour of Alcatraz by Stanley Ferguson, the guard who Arlington killed in the intro cutscene. When these audio tour moments occur, the screen goes black and white, and this is to show a jump back in time to when Ferguson was alive and the events leading up to Weasel's murder. In the intro cutscene, once Weasel lets everyone out of their cells and Billy Handsome hands them all executioner pistols from the warden's private collection, the colours go back to normal. This symbolises that they are in the current present, showing that they are in a continuous loop. The Weasel says, "This ain't right, something weird is going on here," meaning that he shouldn't be in this loop. You also notice a lot of debris that once appears on the screen when it goes back to colour, showing that they are stuck in a loop. We all see the characters die in the intro, and that is why we start in Afterlife mode. Or is it only just that? And this loop is a key theme throughout the entire map. When you reach the Golden Gate Bridge, the only way to get back to Alcatraz is to kill yourself by electric chair. That causes a continuous string of events that keep repeating themselves, as the only way to get back is to die. It is what we call the cycle. Build the plane, fly to the bridge, and then kill yourself to return. The Alcatraz we play in is trapped in its own little bubble of time, which explains why the perk machines fade out frequently, as they are made to exist in a time where it doesn't. During the audio tour, the screen goes black and white and perks are completely faded out. With regards to the achievement Pop Goes the Weasel, the cycle is that Sal, Finn and Handsome return back to Alcatraz alive, and breaking the cycle is allowing Arlington to kill the other 3, bringing everything full circle, so that in terms is opposite to what happened, so it equals out everything that ever did happen. The entire map is a continual loop until you fly off for the final time in Afterlife mode and confront Weasel on the bridge. Now that we've gone over the basic story, let's go over the appearance of the map. Now, the prison is in a very Satanist state, with blood stains, candles and skulls placed everywhere. Hey, let's not forget the presence of over millions of undead. There's also a boss that is suggested to be Ferguson, but his name called here is Brutus. And within this map there is a fair amount of Greek mythology, and I'm going to show you 2 examples. Brutus is also the name of one of Julius Caesar's killers. Julius says, "Et tu Brute," which means even you Brutus. Some say Brutus is a prophet to the controller of zombies, but that can be argued. Now, who is this being? No one knows yet. All we know is he is pure evil. Is Weasel a prophet? No. And here's why I know why he isn't. When the 3 prisoners murdered Albert, Albert must have been in an angry state. The being used his nightmares, journal entries, and even his own drawings designs this map. This is why the 3 mention a lot throughout the map. This looks like one of Weasel's drawings. Even Weasel says stuff like that as well. and the map is a living hell designed by Weasel's imagination. This theory explains the huge paper plans on the walls, the hellhounds on the walls. Now, time to explain the fireworks that you see in the background. Now, my thoughts on them is that the two colours in the background for the fireworks are representations of Maxis and Richtofen. Those two lights always fade off, but the red orb on the opposite side of the bridge never fades. And a second example of the whole Greek mythology is Arlington's diary when you load up zombies. He calls the airplane that you build on Mob of the Dead Icarus. Now, Icarus in Greek mythology is the son of the master craftsman Daedalus. The main story told about Icarus is his attempt to escape from Crete by means of wings that his father constructed from feathers and wax. I'm not sure why there are Greek references in this map, but speaking of Icarus, Arlington mentions that the editor defaces his art, scrawling nasty little comments on every page. Scattered around the map are pieces of paper that form to create an image. This image is a superhero carrying a damsel in distress. It's been drawn by someone and then edited, which draws back to the notion of the editor within Arlington's diary, criticising his drawing with lots of little quotes commenting on what is wrong with it. Some people say the superhero is Icarus, which links into the idea of the plane being called Icarus, which could mean that to Arlington, the plane is like a superhero saving him from this prison. Who the editor is, though, is another mystery. Another thing to point out is during the time span of when we're playing on Mob of the Dead, superheroes weren't invented, and comic strips weren't either. So the whole thing of them two being mixed together is pretty weird, and you can see some of the comments on the page saying, "A man flying? Do you really believe this?" That's all I got for today's video on the Mob of the Dead storyline, but I'll be bringing you guys a few more videos soon, especially when it releases on PC, because I'll be able to get a hold of the audio quotes so I can give you a lot of analysis of the character quotes, and there may be a few secret quotes here and there that we might not be able to get on the actual map itself, but will be hidden in the audio file, so stay tuned for that. There'll be the same question that was up earlier in the video popping up again in the top right in case you guys missed it or didn't get a chance to leave a comment on your thoughts. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. And if you're watching this on a PC, there'll be an annotation in the top left to take you over to a channel called Zombie Break Room. Now, Zombie Break Room is a channel which makes a real-life comedy series based on the zombies in Ascension, and they're going to be making them for Transit, Die Rise, and Alcatraz as well, and it's so hilarious. You guys have to check it out. Honestly, they are so underrated, it's ridiculous. So go over and check out Zombie Break Room. Subscribe if you enjoy the videos you see there, it doesn't hurt, and I'll see you guys on my next video.